It was a warm and cloudy day in late September. That day, myself, Colin, Steve, Frank, and Chad would all head over to a different part of my neighborhood, near the dam where the lake was, and explore the woods in search of an alleged abandoned slaughterhouse. First, we decided to meet at my house. Everyone had already shown up except for Chad.
Man, where'd he be at?
Let's FaceTime him, I said. We got out our phone and FaceTimed Chad. The phone rang for a solid minute and a half before Chad finally picked up. He seemed to be in a bit of a strange location, as he was not in his house, but rather in his convertible. Chad, where are you? I asked.
Well, you see, bro, there was a little bit of a predicament last night. I had a pro ball game at the high school, and I was invited to a party afterwards. And so you see, bros, I'm going to be a little late today. It's been a long night with the bros,
Chad said. Chad, today's Monday, meaning yesterday was Sunday. There's no football games on... Okay, whatever.
You know, bros, it's kind of a last minute thing. Well, all the referee officials said it'd be very, very last minute. You feel me?
Whatever, said Colin. Just send your location and come meet us, okay? We're down for, I'm going to search for an abandoned slaughterhouse in the woods today.
Oh, slaughterhouse? I don't know, bros. I've heard lots of stories from my pops on the ranch, back in Texas, about lots of spooky things that happen in the woods, especially the sketchy places. Man, what spooky things? I don't want no spooky shit. Well, just stories of like ghosts and such, Nothing too spooky, but still, not good for the gains.
Okay, well, whatever, Chad. Are you down or not?
Okay, bros, I'm down.
And besides, Chad, if we find this abandoned slaughterhouse, maybe we can get lunch.
That sounds like a great plan, bros. I'll treat you bros to some golden corral afterwards for some bro gains.
Yay! Frank exclaimed, and it was set. We waited until 11 a.m. that morning when Chad finally rolled into my driveway. We hopped in the car and parked near the dam. We got out and walked up the hill a little bit before getting on some path in the woods by the park. We then wandered off said path towards the direction we believed the abandoned slaughterhouse to be. But we weren't exactly sure where it was, so we just kind of went straight downhill, which seemed to be, for some reason, tiring Frank out. Said Frank. Frank, it's downhill. What do you mean you're tired? Frank, no one can understand you. It didn't matter, though.
Yeah, best man, yo, bitch ass gotta come with us anyway. We had no time for Buzz Light, man, doing his fucking shenanigans. Anyway, I heard stories back in the hood, and I used to camp in these woods all the time and smoke my meth.
Well, I guess I'll continue then. But, yeah.
You, Nick, can you help me carry my can of beans?
Said Frank, before promptly opening up his black trash contractor bag, pulling out a massive 10-pound, yes, 10-pound can of beans. Sure, Frank, I'll carry him. I said yes because the can of beans just wasn't that heavy and could easily fit in my drawstring bag.
You think, Nick? Let me just open them up first.
Wait, open them? No, Frank, what are you doing? Frank, why would you open those? I was going to carry them for you. Now we're going to have a really hard time carrying them.
Oh, too late. My bad. Anyway, Nick, you said you're going to carry the beans, not the can. You just gotta listen.
Said Frank before promptly dumping the beans in my drawstring bag. The beans got all over my phone, my wallet, and my car keys, as well as my drink for later. And Frank just laughed frantically. Whatever, I'll rinse this off in the creek soon. I did just that once we got to the bottom of the hollow. We continued up the hill then before reaching a top flat with what appeared to be an electric fence. Hey, I wonder if this is electric, said Colin. Let me go and touch it to find out. Colin touched the electric fence and immediately got shocked. What the fuck? Anyway, well, we knew the fence is electric now, so For some reason, then Steve proceeded to go back before to get a running start, attempting to do like a backflip over the barbed wire fence. He did not succeed on this, though, and landed right on top of it.
"Oh, yo, man, it burns, man. Oh, fuck that shit,"
said Steve as he frantically scrambled to get himself untangled from the fence. He lifted up his shirt, revealing burn marks on his back from the wires. Chad, however, decided to take a more incremental approach.
"No, Bruce, I say we use the gate instead,"
he said calmly as he walked around to the fence, and indeed used the gate. Steve, your eyes could have just gone around via the gate, I told him.
"Man, you just being a pussy, just that does, man. Anyway, let's find this slaughterhouse. I'm gonna go for some pork brisket today. And if there's any chance there me pigs in that slaughterhouse, I'm gonna get myself a nice good old gains nudge."
Well, seems good to me. So we continued into the woods. However, as more and more clouds rolled over us, I didn't really think much of it, It was sunny, but now it's cloudy. I then felt my phone get snagged from my pocket all of a sudden. I turned around and saw a chubby figure wearing a black hoodie scurry behind a big oak tree. "Hey, who's there?" I called out. The figure then groaned loudly before darting off into the bushes. Normally, I would have let it go, but I couldn't. It had my phone. I had to go after it. I ran off to where it went. "Get back here!" I shouted. Luckily, the figure wasn't very fast, as it was pretty chubby. I soon caught up to it. I had to wrestle it and get all dirty, because it landed in some muddy creek bed. I pulled back the hood and revealed no one other than Herbert Ernie himself.
You've got your phone now."
"Herbert, give it back. Why on earth did you ever take my phone?"
"My name is Pickpocket Man Ernie, and it is my sole identity to be the best pickpocket there is in town."
"No, Herbert. You aren't a pickpocket, and you aren't invited, and you have no right to be taking people's belongings. Give me back my phone now, or I'm calling the cops."
"Never!"
Herbert looked absolutely ridiculous, and not only did he wear the black hoodie, he also wore the dancer yoga tights, flip-flops revealing his 5-inch long toenails. Yes, they were that long. His hair stuck up 10 feet in the air, like an afro style. He had massive warts on his chubby cheeks, and ketchup and french fries sticking out of his nose. He smelled terrible, too.
"You've got your phone now, Nick. Now, I will text all of your contacts."
"Herbert, you can't do that. Oh, you don't even know my password."
"You will make my way somehow, boy."
Just then, I see my phone sticking out of Herbert's chubby sweatshirt pocket. I grabbed it and ran off. Herbert was not able to catch up to me. Like I said, he had a pot belly, so he couldn't do that. I ran back to the rest of the group. "Hey guys, come on, let's go. Herbert's here," I said, and we immediately ran off. We ran off deeper into the woods, into a thick bush grove of pine trees. We heard Herbert's faint screams echoing as he ran farther away. "Whew, glad he's gone," said Colin.
"Yeah, man, now we gotta find this slaughterhouse. And, yeah,"
said Steve. I think Herbert... whatever. Yeah, I'm just glad he's gone, I said.
"I think Herbert would be a great addition to the afternoon slaughterhouse hike,"
said Frank. This is no surprise, as Frank was always pro-Herbert, and he's pro-cheese, too. Herbert was pro-cheese, and this proved it. We soon found a farm field and went into it. The farm field took us to another patch of woods where we soon found the slaughterhouse. The slaughterhouse was 2 stories high and made of concrete, and overall looked very creepy. Guys, it looks a little dangerous, said Colin.
"It doesn't really seem like a good idea," said Frank. "Boss man, you gotta man your bitch ass up."
"I don't know, bro. I think I might be with Frank, bro, in this one," said Chad. "Slaughterhouses can be pretty haunted and creepy, and we don't want any bad energy influencing the gains. Now would we, bros?" said Chad.
"Man, I guess just be Nick kind of night then,"
said Steve. And so we did just that. We walked in and saw numerous machines that had been used for slaughtering animals. They weren't hand machines either, rather automated ones. They looked like they would still work if they were plugged in and everything. "Hey, Steve, don't go messing with those buttons," I said.
"Man, why not?"
Steve went on to press the button, which, surprisingly, turned on the slaughtering machines. Next thing we knew, blades were spinning, hammers were going, and random pumps were being pumped. Luckily, it doesn't really do anything though, but right then, we turned off the slaughter machine, and we heard a noise coming from upstairs.
You boys are in there.
Sounded like something was on its way down the stairs. Hello? Who's up there? Said Colin. Then suddenly, none other than Herbert Ernie himself emerged in a full butcher costume.
Hey there, boys. I'm Butcher Meat Ernie. Everyone knows that I make the best cuts of meat.
Herbert then proceeded to take out a chunk of cheese from his pocket. Not a chunk, but rather a wheel. He put the wheel of cheese on the slaughtering machine, turning on the system once more. The machine made. Was the sound, of course. Next thing we knew, cheese was being splattered all over the room. Colin even got hit in the face with a piece of moldy cheese. Don't, Herbert, he said. Hey, let's go, let's get out of here, I said. We ran all outside, and immediately, Chad and Frank met us out there. What's going on, Bruce? Nothing, Chad. We'll talk about it later. We decided to run out of there, not before glancing back at the slaughterhouse entrance, though, one last time. What we saw there would scar us for the rest of our lives, said Herbert as he held a butcher knife in his hand and was covered head to toe in cheese.
I got chips for you, boys.
Herbert shouted. Herbert then proceeded to do the unimaginable. He did a sort of sumo squat move, quote unquote, and we then heard the back part of his butcher costume near his butt rip. He then wriggled out of the butcher costume and was in nothing more than a Speedo. Oh shit, run! I shouted. We did just that. We ran all the way back through the woods, back through the creek, back through the pine forest, until we reached the lake again. We immediately hopped in the car and sped off.
Hold up, Bruce. I said I'd treat you boys to some Gaines lunch at Golden Trail.
Oh yeah, I said. Forgot about that. So we drove back to Chad's Provertible before promptly hopping on into the Provertible and heading over to Golden Corral in Vanderbilt. Once we arrived, we hopped in and get a table. I was never a big fan of Golden Corral, but, Chad seemed ecstatic, and he was the one treating us to it, so I couldn't complain.
1 table for the Brews, please,
he said. We immediately got up to go get our food.
Well, Brews, I say we eat everything our stomachs desire.
I mean, yeah, we can do that, I said. However, as soon as I go over to the cheese/meat section, I saw a mysterious-looking pan, like a tray, with a sign in messy handwriting that said, "Butchered cheese," quote unquote. I lifted it up and saw moldy cheese. Suddenly, a mysterious figure in a chef costume appeared from the staff area.
Greetings, boys. It's time for you to try my mystery meat. Finally crafted by none other than myself.
Herbert, I thought we got rid of you at the slaughterhouse. Okay, now I'm gonna call the cops. I started dialing 911 because of Herbert. But Herbert had other plans up his sleeve. He stood up on the counter, barefoot, and picks up the pan of cheese. He then grabbed a spatula and started dishing out the slices. Except they were all melty. Everyone got hit in the face.
Hit with Ernie cheese.
Then, the Ernie cheese hit the ceiling fan and then got spun around everywhere, making a huge mess. Luckily, we didn't get hit, but other people, yeah, they got covered in the stuff. We used our plates as shields from our faces. Herbert screamed. It was absolute chaos that ensued in the restaurant. The cops arrived, and 5 minutes later, Herbert was taken away. Right as Herbert was taken away, the manager announced that the restaurant would be closed for the rest of the day. Restaurant closed! Everybody out now! We all got home pretty traumatized from what went down that day, and just called it a day early. That then concludes the Slaughterhouse Surprise.